Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the latest offering from Keith's Fantasy Club as part of the EAVI metal line. This is Phase 8, a Jungle Warrior Simba, or as we like to know him, unofficial masterpiece Victory Leo. Now Simba does come with a plethora of accessories. We have a jet nose cone, a shield, front and rear pillar stands, a tail, and a gun. Now we'll start by taking a look at the gun. As per most Masterpiece figures, it can be mounted using the handle and it be gripped in the hand. Now, as a preference, because I absolutely loved the G1 version of this guy, this can be mounted on his side by extending the handle, pushing it to the back, and locking that into place, and this peg here is going to locate underneath the arm and peg in like so. First impressions of Simba are very good indeed. KFC is one of those companies that has continued to impress me. They've literally got better and better and better. And then we got the Junkions from those. The Junkions are leaps and bounds above anything KFC have delivered in the past. Transistor was good, but they were amazing. And you'll be happy to know that Simba has followed suit. Now he feels like he's made of a very similar plastic. He actually feels very much like Masterpiece Star Saber in hand. It's a very thick plastic consistency. There's a great mix of die cast in there, and he's just a big chunk of a bot to have in hand. And even that pays a nice homage to Victory Leo. He was a big chunk of plastic, and this guy really does follow suit. We have a really nice sculpt and a very good use of colours, keeping it very close to its G1 counterpart. Love the chrome sections on here. I believe these are plastic, but they do really look the part. It's a very good MP style face. God, this guy brings back so many memories of Victory. I absolutely loved that show. They've done a really good job. Right, for now, let's move his cannon to the back so we can see just how good the articulation is on this guy. Is it G1-esque? No! This guy, considering his size, shape and build, is very articulated. The head can look up and down, left and right. The horns can move inwards and outwards. The arms can move all the way around on that gorgeous, gorgeous ratchet. Oh, that is fantastic. You can just hear the metal in there. We can go outwards. And I mean, these are very tight joints as well. We have an upper bicep rotation. We have a nice 90-degree bend at the elbow. Again, gorgeous ratchets on this guy. The wrist can pivot up and down, forwards and backwards. Full rotation there. And the hands have 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on each finger. And the fingers are ball mounted, which allows us to spread our fingers. And that's a pet gripe of mine on some figures, that you just cannot spread the fingers. This guy you can. It's not a huge amount, but that's definitely a plus for me. We have a nice rotation at the waist. Coming down to the crotch, we have flaps at the front, and the guns can lift up at the side, which allows us to bring the legs all the way forwards and all the way out to the side. We have an upper thigh rotation. We have a 90-degree bend at the knee. We get some sideways pivot. And we can also move the feet independently at the toe and heel. So for a big guy, he is pretty dynamic. Now, speaking of size, here he is alongside Star Saber himself. These two do look phenomenal together. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to be displaying him like this. They're going to be joined together. But I needed to show you how good they look together anyway. And of course, his gun does fit on Star Saber's back. There's a lot of good nods to the original toys here. And Star Saber can also hold the gun. Now, if you've replaced your hands on your Star Saber with the KFC hands, you will just have to remove the sword hilt attachment to allow the gun to peg in as if it were a Masterpiece style gun. Now we do have the ability to attach his rear guns onto these pegs on his arm, as well as the ability to join the nose cone section on to the same pegs and use it as a shield. And of course, using those hand pegs, we can bring in his tail stroke whip stroke sword, and we can attach it to the hand. And there he is, all combat ready. Now, I don't usually like using these kind of accessory bits and having those separate, but I actually think that makes a pretty nice shield, and that whip looks fantastic in hand. Now, this section here can also be used as a base for this shield here. It just connects on the bottom. That makes kind of a static shield that I can hide behind, but personally I like to use it on Saber. The little man is all prepped and ready for battle. And if the shield wasn't enough, you can slide the circular peg into the middle, which now allows us to just flip that round, and then we can slide that back, locking it into place, and now Saber can hold a rather oversized cannon. Now, I know that we briefly touched on these back cannons and the ability to be mounted on the arms. You also, once they are mounted on the rear section here, they are on a hinge, so we can actually lift this section up, and we can have them come all the way up and over the shoulder. They basically fit onto any standard peg, and I really like them. They're very G1. Coming around to his side cannons, you have these really nice hinge sections. So you've got them on a ball mount, so you can move it around, and you slide this section up and out, and there we have a really nice hip thrusting action there with those crotch cannons. Right, now we're going to use our rear pillar stand here. Now, you want to grab this section here. This is your shield. You want to lay that down. We're going to be using this hole here. You're going to get your rear pillar stand, and what you're going to do, you're going to grab this section here. You're going to untab this from the base by giving it a pull like so, and then you want to grab this section here and you're going to bring that down like this, and this section is going to slide in, and it's going to go that way like so. That's just going to slide down into here like this. Or alternatively, you can bring in the smaller shield section, keeping the bottom with the stand flipped over. You can just connect it to said points. Now, as amazing as Simba looks in his robot mode, I do unfortunately need to get him changed up into his winged lion mode. Now, to do that, you want to just apply pressure underneath the chin and lift the head up like so. It's tabbed into the chest section. You want to make sure the face is flipped up and under, and you want to bring Simba's lower jaw section down so you can see the tongue. Then want to push the chrome horns down so they now become saber-toothed tusks. With the hand closely folded up, you want to pull down this tab section on the underside of the arm and just push the hands up and into the crevice and close that back off. Grab the underleg section, you want to pull that out, rotate the paws around, and then push and collapse the leg into the forearm, come around to the paws, and they actually spread out either side. Flip his hip skirts upwards. Rotate the lion's legs forwards by bringing them out. And with this red tab section on the leg, just press that in, which allows us to compress the thighs all the way down. Collapse the heels and toes, and just slide in the tail hilt section just before we push these legs together. And here he is all transformed up. I think he looks absolutely ruddy marvellous. We've got articulation all the way through the shoulders here so they can come out, go forwards and back. We've got a bend at the elbows so the paws can go up and down. We have a ball mounted wrist so the paws again can go forward, back, side to side. Coming around to his rear, these legs at the back here can come inwards and outwards. They can go up and down. We've got a bend there. We've got out and round on the ankles so we can get some pivoting going on there. We have a rotation there. We have the ability to move his head from left and right, up and down. we can extend the wings in line mode, so we can bring those all the way out. My personal preference is you unclip the wing here, rock that section back, and tab that in. And now we have the wings slightly further back, giving it more of a sunken look. Now you can also store the shield section on the back here, but it does mean you're opening up the leg hinges, and I personally think that kind of ruins the look of the lion mode. But seriously though, this thing is so much fun. I've never had so much fun with a KFC toy in my life. It is fantastic. Look at that, good old Saber's just going for a ride. Right, from here to transform it into jet mode, you want to grab your shield section, bend this tab down, bring this up, and they are just going to tab together like so. Separate the lion mode hips, remove the tail, and the exact same section is where we're going to put the nose cone section back by sliding that in and then closing this section off. Rotate these hind paws, bend this section up, bend this section down, and when you get to here you want to bend this section fully round so it's like this. Straighten the front leg section. You want to rotate that at the bicep. You then want to extend this front section around, bring it up, push the same joint down, and then just push to secure into place. Make sure these cannon sections are upwards, and then bring this section down to the side. Push the lion's head down and then flip the entire joint, including this white section, up to the top. Bring those wings to this front section. Flip up the rear or landing gear. And then by pushing on the side of the chest section, you should be able to flip open the wheel section. Now I warn you, I've made this look a lot easier than what it was originally. Now bear in mind this is a pre-production sample, but mine were kind of like this, in this position, tucked down behind here. So I had to pop the chest apart to get them out. They should be in this tucked down position like so. So when you apply pressure to the side, there's nothing to stop it coming out. So if you're getting resistance there, you know that the wheel is probably in the wrong position. Here we have him in his jet mode, and remember, this isn't even his final form. By flipping out these handy side peg sections, we can add the guns onto the front, turning it into his attack jet mode. But wait, there's more. If you purchase the attack jet mode today, we'll also throw in his flight stand, which gives us his complete flying attack jet mode. But wait, there's even more. If we disengage these leg sections again, remove the nose cone, grab these side legs and bring them down, flip open this tab on the bottom of the foot, bring them together underneath, and they will tab in together. Fold these clips on the sides of the shins outwards, and then slide the two in, and the clips just push down over the rear of Star Saber. Slide the flight stand all the way through the shield section so that it's protruding from the bottom. Bring in your Star Saber stand, and then just bring in your front stand pillar and just slide that in. Reattach the stand section to the end, and with a little time, patience and balance, we can finally have the combined jet form all transformed up. I mean, there's no beating around the bush. This has huge nostalgia levels for me, and it is incredibly large. Here we have MP10 riding it, just to give you an idea of its scale. Right, let's get him combined up into super robot mode. First of all, disengage the two flight sections. You want to fold the landing gear back inwards so we can rotate those back in. Come back down to the legs. You want to fold this tab section in, close this section off, secure it firmly. You then want to rotate the leg back and around. Rotate at this axis here so it's facing this way. Then bring this leg back round to this point. If you haven't already done so, press the tab section back in so it's a flat foot. Pressing these two retainer tabs on both sides, press those in, and now allows you to slide up this upper torso section, disengaging it from the legs. With the head section pressed down, this whole section here will fold in and tuck away in this backpack section. You then want to lift these yellow tab sections all the way up on both sides, and if you look on here, there are 4 retaining clips. We have 1, 2, 3 and 4. The clips fit on either side of this blue section, and there's also a white tab on the inside here which plugs into the circular sections on the back of Star Saber's backpack. This section hangs on over the top there, and again this section rests against the bottom. I haven't figured out how to get that completely flat, or whether it actually goes completely flat. I have not got a clue. Unfortunately, I can't quite tell from the instructions. Come around to the lower half section, and you want to split the entire section in half. So pull these sections apart. Now these bits here are fitted together extremely firmly. You have to give that some brute force and ignorance. And these torso halves have a rotating section here. Make sure this section is down, and you want to rotate this top section. Flip open the extended toes and flip open the securing peg. Make sure the white leg section is extended out just above the knee. You want to bend the yellow leg section around so the feet are facing upwards. Come around to this underside section, and there's a small locking system here. You want to just flip that lock across, and that now allows this entire section to come up. And as we bring this section up, we can bring this into play, and we can then just secure that foot section onto the red peg like so. Now you may have to slightly tweak this a bit by pushing in the white section here or extending out this foot section here, but it should fit in there quite nicely. Do that with both legs. Last but not least, just rotate this section down, push this section to the back, and then extend this section up, and now we can bring in Star Saber's feet. Star Saber's feet fit in to the grooves on the black section, and the toes fold over the front, and those black tabs are used to secure the feet at the rear. And last but not least, the small shield section splits into 2. You've got these 2 tab sections either side. They peg into the front here, and this goes over the front of the toe, hooking into place and securing it. Now, I'll try and do this on camera, but it is not the easiest of tasks to do because it is a very tight fit and there's not a great deal of play. There we go, and just push those together. There we go, and there we have him fully combined up. He's pretty big, isn't he? Now, he doesn't hold his cannon brilliantly because of the shape of his forearms. Could have done with maybe an extension on that handle just to make it work a little bit better. But he holds a sword, and, you know, we have a very convincing victory saber. He looks fantastic. That is such a great homage to the G1 toy, which always evaded me. I wanted the G1 toy ever since I was a child, and I never bought one. Thinking about how much I've actually spent on Transformers, I probably could have gone out and got one, so it's probably my own choice, making my grail elude me, but now I have this, and this is glorious. Poor little MP10 Optimus Prime is hanging his head there in shame, as he is no longer needed. The Autobots have a new leader, and he is gigantic. You could say humongous. Now, articulation for Star Saber has stayed pretty much the same. We haven't lost or gained anything, really. He was always a bit of a brick. He now is somewhat hindered a little bit on the shoulder joints by the moving guns. Now, we can move these up and out of the way, so there is a little bit of play there. And he does have a lot of weight on him now. His platform shoes are somewhat heavy and unfortunately do prevent his legs from staying outright. That being said, the actual new feet do have a very good pivot on them. being let down only by Star Saber's inward bending knees. If the knees didn't bend inwards, then these legs would actually hold out in a pretty nice wide stance. Now, in my personal opinion, Victory Saber is not an ugly looking bot from the back either. Some of these bots have a hideous rear end, and his doesn't actually look that bad. Simba's kind of hanging on in there for dear life, but if you have ever seen the original toy, this is pretty much as close to it as you're gonna get. To summarise for you all, it's a good fun figure, it's very well built. Once again, Keith has definitely performed and done a fantastic piece. In my opinion, this is one of the best pieces he has done to date because I haven't put it down. It's fun and I love having it in all of its... Okay, I don't like the ship. I don't think anybody really likes the ship, but his lion, his bot and his combined mode are all very good. Each one has its own pros and cons, but all in all, it is a very good piece. Now, not all of you out there will have a connection with Star Saber and Victory Leo, but for those who do, this figure is a must. I can't recommend it enough. Go out and buy it. You won't regret it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you found this video useful, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to share it and subscribe. And until next time, from myself and Simba, thanks for watching. Goodbye.